Hello, Renee Flamont here. One of the things that keeps us going is even once we learn our narcissist is broken, we learn it. They're broken as a person, their pathway, their life, their choices. We learn they're broken. We keep hanging on, hoping they can be fixed. We can fix them. They're going to change their behavior for me. We don't accept that they are irreparable, which is the truth of their situation. And you know, it's very sad to me. It's very sad to me that they are and always will be sad, alone, deep down disgusted with themselves, miserable, broken, and irreparable. It's sad. I mean, how sad is that? Just thinking about them as another human for a minute or three. I mean, anyone with anything that may ail their personality to the point of being negative, don't we still root for them? I think we do. If we just use fictional characters in TVs and movies and stuff, it's unfathomable that they're not redeemable. We like to think people are redeemable. It's impossible for us to think that someone could just be rotten. They might just be rotten. I mean, even the villains, like I said, in movies have people in their corner hoping they work it out, hoping they change, wanting them to see some light or make a choice, a right choice. Tony Soprano, as a family man, we root for him. Tony Montana from Scarface, loved him. But every choice he makes in his life is wrong. Yet we feel, don't we? I mean, I do. Granted, I'm a big Pacino person. But my point is that even if in true life, people that... We've all known people who have seemed lost or angry at everything or shady. I walk away from those kinds of people having hope for them. I don't engage and get angry and try to teach them or make them see some kind of light or think I'm going to get through to people. If they're removed from me, it's not my business how they're going through their life. But I root for those people. When it comes to the way that I said that I am sad about it, it's because, to me, as evil as the acts are that they've bestowed upon us and will continue to do upon others, I feel badly that there are actually an entire ilk of humans that will never ever learn, see the true beauty of being genuine, have love, or feel love. Ever. They will never learn, they will never have any of the good blessings that an authentic, honest, loving life can yield. They will never have any of those. That's sad to me. It is. And like I said, just think of them as another human being. I know you're mad at yours. You may have some in your life with whom you are friends, and they might be narcissists to somebody else in a romantic capacity. So I'm always careful about, don't be so quick to not be able to think of them as a human. They are a human being, and I think it's very sad. They will never ever have any kind of full happy life. And you know, they're incapable, they're broken, and they're irreparable. These are the reasons that they will never have anything. Those reasons make us nervous. We don't want to think of them as incapable or irreparable. We'll take them broken, but we want to think they're able to do it and that they want to change. I mean, can you imagine what an outlook their life is? Even if they don't know it, we do. The scope is nothing but bleakness. That makes me sad for them as humans. And there's no ghost coming like with, Scrooge, wherein he'll get taught, see the light, and change, which I guess Charles Dickens is partly responsible for me having hope that people can change. You know what I mean? And that they indeed do change. But we're taught no when it comes to these narcissists. They're not going to see the light like Ebenezer Scrooge, regardless of who does what with them. It's just a flat no. And we don't talk about that much, but it fascinates me morbidly for them. I kept hanging in there hoping I'd learn the experts were wrong on that one. I hung on there for a long time thinking, like the last video, but not with me. He'll listen to me. Right? We just talked about that. I kept hanging on, thinking I was going to get through to him. I'll make him understand. I'm good with words. How can he not understand? I'll talk his ear off. You see, I've talked about this over 300 videos. Can you imagine what I did to him? I never shut up. He didn't learn anything. And so then you keep hanging on, and then you learn the experts are absolutely correct. They're not wrong. And once you see that they're not wrong and that narcissists don't change, once you test it and you wait and you do the work and you see the results, you realize they're absolutely correct. They can't change. They don't want to change. They like who they are. This will be their life. I mean, it's gross. Ugh. As my mother used to say, icky kaka poo poo gross. Like, ew. Like, their life is gross. And I think that's sad for any human, fellow human, to be in such a horribly dark place that they'll never exist on a plane of happiness that the rest of us can achieve. I like to think everyone can. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I look at the scope of people, I want everyone happy, healthy, and in love, if that's what they want. But the first two, happy, healthy. I want everybody. I mean, I don't want people out there in the world miserable and broken and irreparable. But the fact remains that we have latched onto a person that is both broken and irreparable, incapable of change, not wanting to change. Because I always say I'm optimistic, and I always like to think anyone, people are raised this way and they don't turn out this way, and you can't use your child as an excuse, and you're not responsible for what happens to you as a child, but you sure are responsible for what you do as an adult. I've said that sentence 1,000 times in my life. I had never known a narcissist. I swear they can't help themselves with this behavior, is what they convince themselves. I believe to this day, I have an optimism in me that everyone can change, and you can curb your behavior, and you can curtail this action and that action regardless of what your mind is thinking, and you can talk yourself into anything and out of anything and They say no. And I guess what that means is, even if a narcissist, say, went on a behavior diet and they didn't do a thing wrong, their mind is still going there. They're itching. They can never be in a restful, genuine place of peace and happiness and exist in their life satisfied, because it's never quenched. Their satisfaction is never quenched. Not for, social company, not for money, not for status, not for anything. It's never quenched. So they will always be suffering, as they tell you in Buddhism, always. If you do not, and I've explained how I feel it, if you do not ever find happiness and satisfaction in your present moment, you'll always be suffering because you'll always be looking for the next thing, next thing, next thing. That's how they live all the time. Every day they wake up, they hate their life because it's not what they imagined it was going to be. It's not what they envisioned it was, and they're going to do anything they can to make it happen that day. At least if it's not in true life, they're going to develop their own little fantasy world, have conversations with their friends, pretend they got meetings to go to, be a blowhard at the corner cafe, whatever. But they're going to go out and make themselves feel like they have the life that they envisioned. They have zero interest in changing. They're stuck in a very unhealthy loop. The vision they have about themselves on the outer is going to mask that. They have a self-hatred, so they're going to portray to be this big grandiose person to cover that up. They have no interest in working on it and doing the therapy that would require to fix their broken selves and make them be repairable. They don't care. And they're incapable because they're not built with what it would take to get that done. And if you that have done self-work, you know what it takes. It's exhausting. It's emotional. It takes a lot of effort. You have to look introspectively at yourself, take blame for things you've done, realize where you went wrong, what you could have bettered, how you can behave now differently. It's exhausting. I've been doing it for my whole life about myself. Journaling, in my case, I'm a hard pen to paper person. You know what I mean? They don't want to do any of that. They don't care. They think they're just fine. That's the thing. We are dealing with somebody who is broken and irreparable, but they think they're neither broken nor, I was going to say, nor repairable, but they don't think there's anything to fix. The most they think is, yeah, all right, so I don't remain true. I've been doing it my whole life. They don't even call that a big sin if they're a philandering person. It's an unfathomable way of life for me. I could never live like that. I could never walk into the door and look at someone's face that I'm supposedly making a life with and look them right in the eye, knowing I told somebody else I love you and all this yesterday, and say it to you as well, and have multiple things going in my life. That would be all over my face. There's zero chance that I could pull that off. But they do it because they're broken and irreparable. They do it without guilt. They do it thinking they're entitled to do this behavior. They do it thinking it's their right to do this. And that they can, so why wouldn't they? And it's fun, so why not? And they might even convince themselves for a millisecond to sell it to themselves. But I really like this one. Yeah, okay. Do you know what I mean? Broken, which you've probably realized and accepted by now. But they are also irreparable. They're both. And I think it's very sad that they will have to go through life with all of what that will bring them and all of what they will never see. They will never, ever know bliss, euphoria, not true. They'll sell it like they are. Right? You might even, it gets under your skin. They got somebody new so fast. He looks so happy. Oh, please. They're not capable of that. They don't have it in them to feel any real emotion. I don't care what it looks like is going on. And they're incapable of changing, which means what? Allow it to unfold. Their cycle will do so again. At some point with the new person. To me, it's a very sad existence. And I don't think of that and get gleeful that he'll have a sad existence. I don't do that. It's sad for me that people can't see any kind of light. because I try to be so hopeful that anyone can seek help, get education, see themselves, self-evolve, but these cats never do. They just are irreparable. So keep that in mind. If you've accepted the fact that they're broken, you might want to, I know you're sitting there thinking, but I can fix him and I can do this, and maybe no one's ever put in the work it'll take, but I'm telling you, I put in so much work to fixing him, told him all about everything I was learning, told him all about everything. They are not ever going to be repaired, and they will always be broken.